All right, welcome back. Live, #1 Cochran Sports Showdown rolls on. We're talking about Antonio Brown, and in my view, he sacrificed his reputation, his dignity. He sacrificed everything to get what he wanted more than anything else, which was money. Okay, fine. From that point of view, he got what he wanted. But, Mark, let me ask you about the Steelers. The word around a lot of the national media as well, the Steelers got played here big time. And my question would be, has this now set in motion potentially a blueprint for other players to do the exact same thing, and how dangerous is that precedent?
Well, they did get played, but they really had no choice after, the past 2 months here. He can, he's at a point in his career he can do that, which leads me to your second point, where I don't sort of a Pandora's box, because there's not a lot of people of Antonio Brown's caliber that can pull this out talent-wise as well. I mean, can you see Aaron Rodgers doing something like this? You might have one player per team to do that. I mean, if you're looking for somebody in the Steelers to say, just throwing a name out there, Sean Davis is going to play hardball and want to do this. You know what? See ya. Goodbye. Don't let the door hit you in the rear end. So I don't think that there's going to be some kind of, next CBA, some kind of stipulation where this goes away, because I don't think it happens that much, sort of like the franchise.
Well,
but there's only 4 or 5 people this affects.
But Mark, it's working, and I don't mean just Antonio Brown. Khalil Mack and Aaron Donald both told their teams, "I'm not going to show up until I get paid." And one team caved and paid Aaron Donald, LA, and the other team caved and traded Khalil Mack to a team that gave him what he wants, and that is the NBA mindset, where you have an individual player in a sport where one guy can determine a team's wins and losses, and some of that I think is trickled into the NFL. And you're right, for 52 guys on a roster, they can't do that. But there might be a guy on every team who does think they have the leverage to make a move like this, and it sets a bad precedent when the player quits. And the fact that the Raiders would look at a guy who quit before Week 17 and not only say, we want to trade for that guy, but we're going to make him the richest wide receiver, is embarrassing to me.
Well, they rolled the dice, and yeah, the Steelers got played because AB and his agent, and I give Drew Rosenhaus a lot of credit.
So do I.
They made him undesirable for other teams, and except for the one where they found that would give him an extension and he wanted more money. What Mark is saying is dead on. He wants money. He doesn't care about winning. He wants
and Jeff,
more
how many?
For AB.
And what would you say? That's 95% of professional athletes put money ahead of winning.
I don't know if I go. It depends on the level, because if you're making a lot of money, sometimes
he was
guys
making
will
a
go
lot
to
of money.
teams. Yeah, but that's Antonio
Brown.
That's Antonio. He's a different guy.
But I think most guys put money ahead of winning. Now, they're not going to quit on their teams and blow up a team like he did. But I think most guys would rather have $30 million than a Super Bowl ring on their finger.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of guys that are celebrating this, and they're the ones that's saying that the Steelers got played, and they did, because they were able to. Antonio ultimately was able to get what he wanted by playing the system. And it's not the first time a diva receiver has created issues and then gone somewhere else.
Terrell Owens.
Yeah, but you know what?
Keyshawn Johnson.
It's not like Antonio Brown was treated so poorly by the organization. And I think that's why it has a bad feel in the town. I think people were ready to move on from Antonio Brown and deal with it. But I think the way he went about it and, taking shots at the owner that gave you $42 million when you were 2 years out of college, giving you extra $1 million here and there.
Yeah, sliding in money when they never did that before.
The head coach will let you do whatever you want.
Right.
And the quarterback to throw, you're taking shots at people.
Yep.
Something just doesn't feel right about this. And I think that's why Antonio Brown, at least locally, is maybe the biggest villain in sports history in Pittsburgh right now, because how he.
Let me ask you this. Bud Dupree, among others, liked it and congratulated Antonio Brown. This is a teammate of his. He's watching what's happening. Do you have a problem with that at all?
Yeah, I do. It's just not smart. I understand guys are, hey, let's get the owner, let's get more money, let's get more of what's ours. And I know there's that mentality by some guys in the room. But, man, I don't know what exactly the Steelers could do, but I would keep that in the back of my mind. And I'd keep that list of guys that thought, oh, you think this is cool? I'll remember this next time.
I think my first loyalty, if I was a guy who had been a colossal bust in his career, would be to the guy whose name was on the bottom of my paychecks. And even though it's a fraternity among NFL players, they're all brothers, and when somebody pulls off a stunt and gets paid, you look at that and you're impressed by it. If I'm Bud Dupree, I think I'm watching my P's and Q's, because I'm lucky to still have a job that pays me $9.5 million with the Steelers.
I don't really have a problem with it, but where I have the problem with it, just text a guy. Text him and say,
yeah, why do you have to put it in public?
Go get them. Why do you have to show everybody that you're in his corner or picking sides? So, I mean, you know, we're all been there. You hit something, you're like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have did that. You know, we all been there.
Not me, Mark.
Maybe some of your coworkers.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, let's go around the horn for this week's Smooth Moves, brought to you by Pittsburgh's largest supplier of the smoothest granite, marble, and quartz countertops you will find. That's Armina Stone. So we ask these guys the smoothest move of the week, nationally, locally, doesn't matter. Start with you, Andrew.
All right, you just got me going on this, Mark. It fired me up today. I'm sure most of our viewers saw it. Juju Smith-Schuster, I'm ready with the toe tap catch in Oakland for a touchdown with Antonio Brown looking at him as he did it. He's ready to be the #1 wide receiver, and I think that fired up a lot of people. I'm ready.
Mark, are you ready?
Well, you know what? My smooth move, I'm looking into the future right here. This has not happened yet, but I'm having a feeling, wouldn't it be a great smooth move for the Steelers to call a noon press conference for Monday to announce Ben Roethlisberger's 3-year, $90 million extension? And to be honest with you, I think Ben might take a little bit below market value. You know, dig that knife in the back a little bit more and say, you know, I'm not greedy like this other guy. So a potential smooth move.
I like it.
All right, my smooth move is IUP men's and women's basketball. They each won the PSAC. Congratulations to Coach Lombardi and Coach McConnell. It's quite a franchise they have going on over there.
Yeah.
You know I went to Cal, right?
I know.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, you're absolutely right, Jeff. All right, those are the smooth moves of the week, brought to you by Armina Stone. They feature Pittsburgh's largest indoor stone gallery of granite and marble countertops imported from all over the world to give you the smoothest countertops in the area. You can score a touchdown right now with new granite countertops from Armina Stone. When we come back, we're talking Penguins. That's next.